All right, good. I want to make sure it wasn't too loud. It's loud inside the helmet.
Whoa, everybody, you hear the man talking right now. This is our special guest. We're going to give him a special little, like, whip
Grandpa, what's going
to
on?
Bill Stormtrooper joining Viva Los Bills tonight for the first time. We're pleased to have one of the guest super fan, Bill Stormtrooper, also known as Mr. Bill Hatch behind the mask.
Behind the mask.
Stormtrooper, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you, Will? How are you, Benny?
We're doing great, man. Glad to have you on the show, buddy.
I'm glad you got a hold of me.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You took a time out from being hanging out in the Death Star over there, or the dark
Yeah. Sometimes Darth Vader can be a pain.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers never hit anything, so we can never be a quarterback.
Oh, that's pretty
Just
good.
one of those things.
It's true. They always miss in those movies, you know.
We are.
But they do. But that's good. Listen, thank you for joining us. As always, we are live on I-95 Network, Sports Network, also on channel 198 on Zingo TV. Anybody out there wants to talk, leave a comment, you have to give permissions to StreamYard. Put them out there. We'll answer your questions. We'll see your comments, especially for Trooper. You got him. He's going to be with us the whole show. By the way, Will, aka Buffalo Will, joined by cousin Vinny.
What's going on, everybody?
Our guest goes first. So now we're going.
Oh.
All right. Listen, we're going to start off with some news around the NFL. Mr. Troop's going to be with us, like I said. All right. First thing off. The NFL and the NFL Players Association agreed to conduct daily COVID testing for a minimum of 2 weeks, and after that, it could be adjusted, possibly to every other day. Also, the Bills and 7 other teams had their plans approved. So, I guess all those media posts from the players on Sunday really worked. Everybody got out there. It looks like the Players Association told them put out some text, tell everybody they want to play and that the NFL has to step up. It's pretty much like, all the stormtroopers telling Darth Vader, hey, we want to shoot straight. You got to give us the weapons.
That's right. We need a better blaster, man.
That's right.
So,
And by the way, before we get into any news, I want to ask Bill a couple questions. How, being a super fan that you are, and by the way, that's an awesome setup you got there. I've seen during the time you've been upgrading on your outfit a little bit. How did you go about? What was the concept behind it? How did you become a super fan, and how long have you been a fan of the Buffalo Bills?
I've been a Bills fan since '72. I was born in '64, so yeah, I was pretty young when I started. I've seen it all, ups and downs. We all have, all of us old people. I used to be a Super Mario fan. I was a Mario Williams fan. I used to dress as a blue morph suit with a Superman on and everything.
That's awesome.
Then when he went somewhere else, I walked into the party rental city one day, and I'm like, what do I need to do here? I'm like, no more just super fan of one guy, super fan of the whole team.
Absolutely.
The whole team.
Now, so how did you come up with the concept with the whole? I know you obviously are probably a big Star Wars fan, but how did you like come up with that? You just bought the outfit and started painting it. You did it yourself?
Yep, I bought it was just plain white. I've got like 5 helmets, so you can see the ones behind me on a couple of different sides.
Yeah.
I got a little short guy I bring with me. Painted him up. And I'm like, you know what? I love Star Wars. I love the Bills. We're going to put the two together.
That's
So
awesome.
that's what it became.
That's awesome. One quick question: what was the most memorable experience as being Trooper? Who's the most famous person you've met, or and so on and so forth? What's your most memorable experience?
I met the Spider-Man at one of the draft parties. I met the Daryl Talley. He saw me. He goes, "I need a picture with you." I said, "I'm there for you."
It's a little pic of you up there. You keep going. They're just showing some of your pictures in action.
Oh, okay.
We're not covering you up on purpose. It's just you're up there.
Yeah, well, it's like Daryl Talley, man. He was one of the greats, and he was awesome. That big Bills fan from the '90s.
That's awesome. What's
Love
what's
Marv
one you?
Levy.
Yeah, man. What do you think about the new name of in Orchard Park? What you think it's gonna be?
Oh, it's hard to tell. I hope it's not the Tushy one. If we make it, it'll be called. If we make it, it'll be called the Toilet Bowl and not the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. You know, me and Will talked about it at length last week. We were talking about how they put in a $12.5 million bid to name it the Tushy Bowl, and we were like, listen, man, we're gonna have to do a GoFundMe page and get $12.6 million and do some other name because that ain't happening. We cannot have a toilet bowl college game. We'll lose all type of respect that we have right now. We'll definitely lose it by being called the Tushy Bowl for sure.
Yeah, and instead of giving out free stuff, they'll give you rolls of toilet paper. It's like, no, I got that. I'm not hoarding that stuff. We don't need any more.
That's funny. Now, another quick question. What was the most, as a Bills fan, you know, we've had a couple of heartache games. What was your most painful game, if you will, that you remember as being as long as you've been a fan? Disregard the wide right. Besides that, the Scott Norwood situation in the Super Bowl. What other one do you have on your mind that you could just think off on the top of your head?
Well, I was going to say, though, the one with the Giants, because I was watching that with my brother, and he was a Giants fan.
Yeah.
And it was like, no. But I think the greatest comeback was the best one.
Absolutely. That was the best. Yeah. Absolutely. Man, well, pleasure having you on the show, man. And whenever you feel like chiming in, go right ahead. It's great to have a super fan like you on the show. We're looking forward to getting some more super fans, and you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want. And we're just going to get at it. We're going to get in the news.
I've got a couple of these I'm going to send you guys. I just need your address.
Oh, thanks. Okay. I'll give it to you later on. Thank you.
They're actually iron-on patches for Bill Stormtroopers, so.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll get your addresses later, and I'll send them out in the mail to you.
Thank you, sir. And we'll keep asking you questions, but we're going to keep moving on. All right, so another thing was also the league agreed to no preseason games. That was big, you know. They went from 4 to 2, now to none. The NFL Players Association didn't want games, so the NFL agreed, mainly due to cutting out the travel from city to city. Now the scheduling calls for 3 weeks of strength and conditioning training, workouts, 10 days of non-padded practice, and 10 days of padded practice over the final 2 weeks. We talked about this. These rookies better step up now because they can't show what they want to do. The rookies are actually hoping for preseason games, it was said. But, you know, the older troop has to say. They're not going to get any ways to show other teams what they can do. So it's going to be rough for them. They're going to have to put in work. What do you think about that, Storm?
They're gonna have to earn it, and they're gonna have to show it somewhere on the field to get the spot that they want. We got some good rookies that we picked up, so I'm hoping that we can make it with them somewhere.
Yeah, Vinny, what do you think?
It's gonna be hard, man. I mean, because they're gonna have 10 non-pads and 10 days of pads. I mean, I guess that's the only way they're gonna be able to showcase in those 10 days. I mean, a lot could happen in those 10 days to where they could see a little bit of where they're going, but is it enough? I don't think so. I think they're going to have opportunities. Let's say either we're getting blown away or blowing somebody away, that they'll be able to get their time, their time to get in there for a little while and show what they got. In other words, when the opportunity arises, they need to shine. They can't beat around the bush. It's definitely when you get in there, do your thing. But it's such a short notice, no preseason games to show what's going on. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah, it's going to be a do or die.
Yeah, I think it's going to be real tough for these kids to show what they can do. I mean, even 10 days of padded practice, that's not much. I think the first 2 games of the season are probably going to be really ugly. Whoever trains the hardest and, you know, mentally strong or straight, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be real ugly, and hopefully nobody gets sick and nobody gets hurt. I mean, these guys aren't really conditioned in 10 days. It's going to be tough to get used to.
The good thing about it, I posted a couple of videos from Joe Kroom. You know, he travels with the team and takes pictures and videos. These guys are active. They're active off season. And pretty much our defense and our offense are pretty much kind of intact, if you will. So, I mean, we got a couple things here and there that we could change up, but we pretty much got the same team. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be that difficult for the Bills, I believe.
No, I think the problem is more. Bill could tell you how it is to run around with that suit on, than how it is to run around without it on.
Without it,
it's totally different.
Yeah, it's totally different, man.
Yeah, they have to get used to hitting each other, taking those pops and licks. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think the rookies are going to have a hard time. They just got to put in that work, like we said. It's crazy.
And definitely coming out of college into the NFL, the speed is totally different for them to adjust. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but let's see what happens. Let's see what McDermott comes up with.
I think he's going to come up with something good. He's always got something up his sleeve.
Yes, sir.
That's one thing we all agree on. This new regimen has been on point, so they got these guys to work. Another thing, ESPN's Dan Graziano reports the NFL salary cap could drop by up to $70 million in 2021 due to the reduced revenue streaming from the coronavirus. The owners wanted it actually done now, and the players are like, hold up. Hey, we don't want it right now. Yeah. So the problem is they're saying it's not really going to affect the guys now, but more of the rookies coming in, and the rookies now, like 2 years, 3 years later, when their rookie deals are coming up. I mean, $70 million. If this happens, you know how many teams are going to be in trouble with the salary cap?
There's teams in trouble right now with the salary cap, let alone $70 million in the hole. That'll be devastating for some teams.
Yeah, I mean, even the Bills would take a big hit. You want to sign these guys, it's going to be insane. I mean, if it drops that much, we're probably going to lose some of our guys, and hopefully it doesn't happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. They need to get Trey and everybody signed whatever they need to do. But what are we at now? We're about 20 million right now as we speak on the cap.
20 million or 21 or 22 under the cap as of right now. So that's
in a couple years from now, it's going to be a lot different. Absolutely.
This year, they have to sign Milano, Trey White. There's a few big names they got to take care of.
Yeah, there's some veterans on there that need to stay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be something to look at, and it's going to be tough. Hopefully, they make their money back and this doesn't happen, but it's going to be a big hit. In some unimportant news, Antonio Brown retires again from the NFL. This guy is like crazy. He's always I think he'll be retired until mid-season. God forbid if some of these players start getting sick, then he's going to come out of retirement. And say,
he's going to come back out. He's going to be a Gronk Jr.
Yeah.
But the only thing he's not a head case. I mean, he is a head case.
He is
Gronk's not. That's the problem there.
There's a difference.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, at least you should be happy not seeing Gronk either, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm happy.
No more of them dirty hits once in a while.
That's good too. he was, but you can't take anything away from that guy.
No.
Another thing we were talking last week. I think the Patriots are watching the show. We said last week about, maybe bring in partial fans, maybe a few sections. 20 people per section, maybe. Send them apart. The NFL did say if anybody's going to have fans, they must wear masks. But the Pats announced that they will have a 20% capacity at their home games if permitted by the state and local authorities. The average ticket price of those tickets increased nearly by $170 just from this. It went from like $424 to $591 just with this announcement, which is insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How's that going to affect you, Mr. Hatch? How's that going to affect you in terms of going to the games? Now, are you still going to go to the games if you're allowed?
I actually opted out this year because of virus stuff. My girlfriend has the immune system, so it's like we're not going to take that chance. Hopefully it gets under control and we still have our seniority for next year's ticket, so we should be good.
Hey, question: do you travel when the team travels too?
No, I just do the home games. I don't. I'm not one of the crazy guys that goes way out of towns. And
And you've
if
had
I hit the
season
lottery,
tickets.
if I win the lottery, I might do that.
Yeah,
That'd be a nice pick.
it's like Pinto Ron. I think he's been doing it since what, '94.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's been
been to every single home and away game.
Yep.
That is dedication. That is crazy, man. I can't picture myself. All right, let's go to San Francisco next week. And then the following week, especially with the West Coast games, traveling and staying out there. I mean, he must be pretty set because I'm gonna tell you right now, to travel, it's not cheap at all. It's not cheap. But hats off to Pinto Ron.
Does he drive that Pinto away too, or is that just for home games?
That's
I think that's for home goals. Just for hamburgers. Yeah, that's just for cooking, right? That's right.
Yep.
Hey, Bill, have you thrown anybody through any tables?
No, I go in parking lot 5 or 7. We usually go in parking lot 7. We have a mellow group. We like to drink, but not really through a table. So
yeah, I don't blame you.
And I can probably never hit the table being a stormtrooper, so he'd be way over there, and the table would be here. So
go straight to the ground.
Going to a table, so I'm like, nah, we don't do the tables. We're good.
That's good.
Have you ever met Pancho Villa?
I almost ran into him one time. He was going into the stadium, and I was on the opposite side, but then we just never got a chance to meet up. He was an awesome guy, though.
Yeah, actually, the show is based on him. It's Viva Los Bills. That's what he used to have on his forum. So this is kind of a tribute to him. So to keep his legacy alive. And I said, me and Will are fans. You know what I mean? It's a pleasure to have a super fan on. We love the Bills, and we're trying to get all the super fans we can get on the show and kind of get their experience and kind of get a feel for it and how it is to kind of be in the games and see how, meet the players and meet the fans and how everything transpires during the game.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be a super fan. You get through so many pitchers. Like, we went a couple of years ago, and it was like, I think it was Kids Day or whatever. We were playing the Bengals. I lost my whole family. I said, let's walk down to the Bills Boulevard over there, and we'll just see what, take the kids over. Well, I stood there for 2 hours with a line of people waiting for pitchers. It was so hot that day.
Now, when you're at the game, do you keep the helmet on the whole time, even if it's hot? You just dedicate it like that?
If I'm inside, I'll take it on and off if somebody wants to pick. But yeah, it gets so hot in here. I'm going to install a fan in it.
Yeah.
And with this new suit that I'm working on, it's one that they wear in the movie, so it's like so many different pieces that go on, totally different. It's not like the jumpsuit style, so it takes a little more longer to set up. But yeah, it's pretty. But
you'd be a lot more cooler then.
Now it might be because you have to wear the black jumpsuit underneath it, which gets pretty hot. So yeah, it can get. I don't know. I think the Broncos game, I lost like maybe 6 pounds every quarter.
Wow.
It was like 92. It was 92 degrees that day. We played the Broncos.
That's nuts.
I can imagine.
Yeah. This is actually. I'm actually, like I say, I have the hard. It's hard. So this is what it looks like, kind of. But I'm actually doing this with it.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet.
So actually, that's one of the casts. I do have like one of the thighs completed, where I just left the blue on there, and I just went and I'm like, it's something totally different. It's going to stand out a little more.
That's pretty cool.
I got to keep my colors,
Yeah. Well, at least it can help in the winter.
Yeah, that's a $1,200 suit that I'm playing with. So it's kind of, if I don't want to mess it up and have to break it.
Wow.
Hey, whatever you do, we want you to make a nice suit for December all the way through January. Is that cool? Can we make a bet on that?
With the suit that I wear underneath this other one, I have actually a jumpsuit that I call my winter suit. It's a little thicker, and I got it in a little larger so I can add more stuff in underneath it and stay warm. So
awesome.
When we played the Colts in that Snow Bowl, all I had on was my suit and my sneakers and my wool socks, and I was good, man.
You good to go?
I was good to go. Couldn't see anything, but it was good to go.
All right, as the other day, our old general manager, Buddy Nix, recently said that in 2012, Russell Wilson was their guy, and they were going to draft Russell Wilson, but they ended up picking T.J. Graham. You guys remember T.J. Graham? Barely, but he never panned out.
Yeah, he never panned out.
They drafted T.J. Graham and hoped Russell would slide to their second pick, which was insane. I mean,
It was really, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And look how Russell turned out.
yeah,
that
you look
wasn't a smart move.
Come on, man. He should have just kept that to himself. It's like, come on, buddy. You could have taken Russell.
You would have been better off because then now you're like, thank God when he's not here anymore.
Well, he wanted to come out. He wanted to come out with that just in case he got into politics because it would have been dug up somewhere.
Yeah.
If he's
He
not
wanted to cover his tracks.
if he's not in Buffalo, he's okay. Forget it. My goodness. All right, on other news, well, now we'll start with some of these Bills news. On good note here, Ed Oliver. The man Ed Oliver was cleared of all charges stemming from his May DUI arrest. The blood evidence, all negative, no drugs or alcohol in his system. The beer can they said was found between his legs. Nope, that wasn't a beer. It was a beer can. You can leave that still up because that's what he's going to end up doing. Oh, that's not Ed Oliver, is it? No, that's Shaq. You can take that down, Bobby. That's my bad. The beer can he had actually had spit. It was from his dip, his chewing tobacco. So he blew a 0.00.
It was totally negative, his results.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, he was cleared of the gun charges because it wasn't illegal to have the gun. It became illegal if he did something criminal. He never did anything criminal. How did they arrest this guy? He blew a 000. He didn't have beer.
Well, they probably saw the can, and then with the weapon, if you're legally intoxicated for what I understand, it becomes a crime to have a weapon while you're intoxicated. That's where the criminal charges came. Well, like you said, if he blew a 000, I guess for having an open container, they you know what I mean? They arrested him for that.
If you should have let the guys taste the beer and see if it was good or not. Sure, have us up, officer.
Yeah,
at least take a whiff of it.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter if you have one beer, you're still not blowing 000, which makes sense. Anyway, the Bills posted a comment. Bobby, you could throw that one up, and I'll read it here. I know how to read.
He just don't want to throw it up for you.
Yeah, there it is. We were pleased with the ruling today regarding Ed Oliver. We supported and worked with Ed throughout the offseason program as it was a priority for us to allow the legal process to play out. We appreciate Ed's honesty and his communication with us. His name cleared of all charges. He can now turn his full attention on the upcoming training camp and season. Thank you, Bobby. And good, because we talked about this. We were hoping nothing would happen. There's no reason whatsoever for the NFL to do anything to this kid, especially if he was cleared, blue 000. The gun charge matter.
Benny's got a butt. Benny's got a butt.
Wait, the gun charge would be the only thing they could come up with, but he had a permit. So it doesn't matter.
Permit for that.
Have any, a carrying purpose. So there's nothing. So we shouldn't miss any time. What's your
now, what I'm trying to tell you now is, okay, everything's been dropped. Everything, let's say the slate is wiped clean right now. But Ed Oliver's kind of pissed, and he tweeted out a couple things that he let everybody know that he was pissed. And I'm gonna read you his tweet. He said now y'all I'm doing a word for word now. He said now y'all go back and read this article, knowing that all my blood work came back clean, but I had a beer can between my legs. Get the F out of here. How does a 5'8" officer see inside a window above his head anyway? How do 5 cop cars show up before I take a sobriety test, huh? So he's a little ticked off about it. I guess rightfully so, because the way it was seen, I don't know if you guys seen the video. It was kind of like, man, you like, I hope it isn't what it looks like. Mm-hmm. So, you never could, the media just, we're going to leave that alone. But he's kind of pissed off. He's kind of pissed off, and rightfully so, I got to admit.
What do you think?
You know the media shows what it wants to show. That's all they do. You know how that rolls.
Absolutely.
Yep. And the thing
I read that tweet that he put out there. I started laughing. I said, that's pretty good. I was like, y'all. He's like, y'all, go back and read that.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Houston, too, so he knows.
He tweeted today that he was pulling his horse trailer up heading to Buffalo.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's awesome. So now, Will, now we don't have to worry about who fills in. Scenarios that we put into place on how many games he might be out, if any suspensions. Now that finally that's off the table, so we got El Oliver back.
That's another that totally. Now we have to see who's going to step up, because one or two of these defensive tackles we have might just get cut or traded. They're going to have to
no doubt
step their game up. On another note, there's another man, Lorenzo Alexander. He's out there. There he is. Oh, we covered Bill. Bill keeps dropping hints that he wouldn't mind a return to the Bills if they make a run, and if they lose a linebacker mid-season. This man, Ed Alexander. We could drop that, Bobby. Poor Bill got hit behind Alexander. I mean, he's the man. He was good. He played his role. Personally, I thought they should have brought him in as maybe as a linebackers coach or something, because of his knowledge. I mean, he played all over the field, offense, defense, so he has some knowledge there. I wouldn't mind them bringing them in, and especially with COVID, you never know if some of these guys are going to drop. Even though we have a lot of depth and there's youth, he's still good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he's spot on. I would bring him back if somebody dropped him. I mean, he was all, like you said, all over the field. I mean, he was hitting tackles, busting line. I mean, he was doing his job. That's what you need.
Absolutely.
I mean, we need somebody to do the job.
Absolutely. Yep. I agree with Bill. I agree it would be if it would be a great opportunity if he comes back, even for the morale of the team, even for the leadership, because he was one of the main leaders on the team. So to bring him back and to be a vocal leader would be an awesome asset also. So if Bean has a chance to bring him on, I'm all for it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's good. I like him. I always say to go with the youth, but like you said, he has leadership skills that none of these kids are going to have yet. And if it did come down to it, hey, bring him in.
Yeah, he's not afraid to hit. He's not afraid to hit you neither.
Nope. And he still can cover linebackers and running backs out the backfield. He still has that speed. He really hasn't lost it, which is great. A few other things here. Preseason training camp updated roster by jersey numbers. I didn't keep everybody's on here. I picked a few, some of the rookies. You got Tyler Bass coming in wearing number 2 from 16. Gabriel Davis wearing 3. I didn't think receivers could wear 3.
Really?
I mean, is that going to be able to work during the regular season? I don't know. He usually wore number 13. But somebody else has that number. We'll get to him shortly. Jake Fromm is going to wear 10 and not 11. I guess because Cole Beasley has 11, so he's not going to get his number. Beasley went from 10 to 11. I guess those two flip-flop jerseys because Beasley won no jersey. Now at 13's Ray. He's going to wear 13 instead of 14 because we all know Stephon Diggs came in and he's going to wear 13.
He wants that number.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Let's see. Zach Moss. He's taking Frank Gore's number 20.
Number 20.
About Zach Moss, Bill?
He's got some shoes to fill with that number, but I think he's going to do good.
Yeah,
I'm hoping. I'm waiting to see if Wade really tears up the field. I like Christian Wade. I know he's not, I'm hoping.
I'm rooting for the guy, but right now with no preseasons,
I know it's tough.
Harder for him. I think it's going to be super hard. I mean, he's one of my the guys I root for, Cinderella stories, if you want to say.
Yep.
Absolutely. I've read that he's been really working on learning the game. Now he actually said that he watches some rugby games and it feels weird now that he's kind of entrenched into American football. So he's trying to learn the game, but like you guys said, the opportunity is probably not going to be there for him to showcase, his talent and his learning capabilities. So he might. I'm sorry to say he might not make the roster. He might be short, coming up short, man. I'd hate to say it, but realistically, with the COVID and the training camp and the preseason games, there's not a lot that he's going to be able to show us. So I'm hoping he stay, but realistically, I don't think he will.
Yeah, I saw him out there today. I saw one of his videos. He was practicing in his bare feet, doing his little run moves there, like getting back and forth. I'm like, Yeah, you don't need no shoes. Just run down the field. Forget the cleats. You can feel the turf under your feet.
There you go. As long as nobody steps on his feet, he's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he do? First time he ever touched the ball, he scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
if you guys remember.
he just busted the line. It was a preseason game, but it was,
still 62-yarder, I believe. I mean,
it was amazing to watch him run it.
Yeah,
he just separated himself from everybody. So I was like, wow, that's a nice little gem we got there to work with. And then, but then again, we got Motor, we got Moss. I mean, those are tough shoes to get in there with them.
Singletary's something else. I was watching his cut moves the other day, and he's got some moves, man. It's like it puts you down in one way and go the next.
Yeah, the one
that's what we and Will talked about, because we were talking about the situation, who's going to be the primary running back, and we discussed about how Singletary is probably going to be the premier back. First, second. It depends how Zach Moss's hands are. Maybe he could be the third down back, or in short yardage situations, or in red zone situations, because he's such a up and down, a north-south runner. And he's claimed, he said it himself, he loves the contact. He said, these guys, if they want to tackle me, they better write a contract because I'm coming for them, in other words. So he likes the contact. Singletary's a little bit more shifty, so it's gonna be a little bit different. But me and Will kind of disagreed on that. What you think, Will?
No, I didn't disagree on it. My thing was, we did a top preview for camp or whatever, who we thought, and I said Zach Moss. I could see Zach Moss going in there with a chip on his shoulder and trying to beat Singletary out. And I said the thing that might separate him is his hands. I really don't know much about his hands. He caught a few passes. It wasn't as crazy. But Singletary, if Zach's coming in like a freight train and he's balling over people, I could see Singletary end up going to the third down back, third and long for those dump passes. But we both agree Zach Moss is probably going to get the bulk of the carries by the end zone.
Yeah, I'm pretty. You're pretty much. I'm going point on with that one with you too.
Yeah, and one thing about Christian Wade that actually might help him. Sad to say, it might be the virus, because God forbid any of these guys go down.
He'll be right there.
And up.
Absolutely.
I mean, he does qualify, I believe, for the practice squad still, because he's a foreign player, whatever how it is with the rugby and stuff. I think he's qualified for that practice squad, so he could be on our practice squad and maybe get pushed up. Another guy.
Now, real quick.
Good.
A little bit that we were talking about also, that I was kind of bothered at the draft. When you get selected, there's a certain excitement you get to be called on a team. I don't know if you remember, we talked about this when Zach Moss was called to be a Buffalo Bill. He didn't seem too excited. That kind of bothered me a little bit. But then again, what about Jim Kelly, right? Was it Jim Kelly?
Yep.
He didn't want to come over here, and look how he turned out. So I'm hoping that'll be the same result. Because from what I saw at that draft, I was a little kind of like, oh man, I don't think he wants to be here. But I've seen him working out all season with Josh and Beasley and everybody else. He's been working out, down here in Florida, and it seems like he's gelling. So hopefully they all, come together as a unit, and that'll make him want to stay. Because that day at the draft, when I saw him, I was a little kind of like, me and Buffalo Will talked about that, and we were like kind of split on it, and he reminded me of what happened with Jim Kelly.
You never know. He could be the silent one.
Yeah. And like he said, he probably has a chip on his shoulder now, So hey, if he's pissed off and he has a chip on his shoulder, that's better for us, because he's going to want to prove what he could do.
That's it. You got it.
That's my thing. That's what I see. Vinny's guy, Josh Norman, is going to be rocking 29, no longer 24 anymore. He'll be rocking 29. One of the guys I like, this rookie, I see him making the team, Reggie Gillian, will take 41, one number in front of Patrick DeMarco at 42. I think he means he's taking his job.
He's going to take his spot.
He's going to take his job.
He's like, I'm moving ahead of you in numbers, and I'm going to take your spot. You think that?
Now, that's one.
One down, one to go.
Hey, Bill, you think Reggie might take Patrick's spot?
I don't know. Patrick is pretty good. He's a powerhouse. Put the shoulder down, just go. But it's going to be tough. I like Patrick DeMarco.
That was one match. that was one matchup me and Will actually look forward to in preseason and camp to see how they were in training camp to see how they were going to match up. But I guess we're just going to have to find out otherwise.
Just got to wait now. Nobody's going to know but them.
Another guy, AJ Klein, he's going to take 54, no longer 53. One jersey number surprised me. I don't know if he's going to keep it. Was AJ Espinosa wearing number 57. It's more of a linebacker
number.
You know, DN, even though Jerry Hughes wears 55, I would have thought he would have went with a higher number up there. Isaiah Hodgins, he's going to wear 87. Quentin Jefferson took Shaq Lawson's number at 90. Vernon Butler wearing 94. And Mario Addison wearing 97. Who are you looking more forward to with the new, like, say, rookies or any of these new players? Who are you looking more forward to, Bill?
I don't know. I don't want to give a wrong answer because you don't know who's going to get in and who's going to get out.
Yeah, but who do you want to see, or like who do you think might make it? There is no wrong answer.
Yeah,
make this up as we go.
Yeah, we'll just wing it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like Epicino.
Oh yeah,
Epineza,
yeah.
Yeah, Epineza, yeah, man. That's my guy right there. I talked about him on the draft. He fell a couple spots in the draft, and I told Will once he fell, from the first round to the second, and we picked him up. I was excited. I had been watching the kid. Will hadn't really been watching him, but I think we got a steal. We got a first round in it. And he dropped as far as he did. I was excited to get him. So that's one of the guys I'm actually looking forward to seeing.
Yep. I think we got a steal on him too.
Yeah,
it was a good steal.
And actually, his first sack ever. We talked about it before too. At what was it? Iowa was against Josh Allen. That was his first sack ever.
Yeah. So now they're teammates.
Yep. Now they're teammates.
Talking about Josh Allen, there you go. Look at that segue. So for the last 2 years, I think, or whatever, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have been saying,
"Man, listen,
have a strong arm." No, I have a strong arm. And then last week we were talking about Madden and how Madden put Josh Allen with a 99 and Patrick Mahomes has a 98. So after that came out, Patrick Mahomes pretty much, wasn't too happy.
Very vocal about it.
Yeah, he said maybe we could line up a throw off, and then we could prove who really has the strongest arm. I mean, I remember Josh trying to set this up like a year or 2 years ago, even to set it up as a charity thing. So I guess maybe now it'll happen. I mean, I'd like to see it. Look at those two to see which one of these guys have the best gun. They're both monsters. Josh has thrown that ball pretty far. Patrick's thrown that ball pretty far. We've seen video of Josh standing still, 60 yards into the end zone, not even stepping into it. So, I mean, it'd be pretty cool to see. I don't know. I hope Josh has a stronger arm.
I think Madden hit it right on the nose. Patrick just right? I've seen some of those trick shots that Josh Allen throws too. They were pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little biased. I think we all are a little bit biased, towards Josh Allen. But in raw power, I believe Josh has more strength in terms of distance. But accuracy is totally different. I think Mahomes is right where he needs to be. If Josh keeps working like he's been working all season, and that plays out into hitting his receivers in stride and his accuracy, that's a totally different story. But in terms of arm strength, I think Josh has got the stronger arm, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I agree on the accuracy thing with Mahomes, but
yeah, no, he has better accuracy. I was watching what was the games, because there's no games on, so I was watching the NFL Network anyway. The Chiefs against the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson was overthrowing people left and right, but nobody talks about him.
Nobody says
Josh
nothing.
Allen drives me crazy. I was like, look at all these overthrown passes. It's insane. And one thing Patrick does, he throws the ball up there, and sometimes it just sits. Against the Ravens, I was like, how did they not pick off that ball? It was just sitting there, and then they're just standing there, and they catch the ball. Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he gets away with those.
he does a lot of sidearm flicks, a lot of unorthodox stuff too, which is it plays into his game because you as a linebacker or somebody trying to get him, and all of a sudden you put your hands up, but meanwhile the ball is going through the side because he's sidearmed on you. So that's a good attribute that he has, that he's able to get rid of the ball in certain different situations, to where Josh is kind of like, he's kind of like he sees where he wants to throw and just throws it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a split second with the release. So I'm rooting for Josh. Like I said, I put up a couple videos on Viva Los Bills on Facebook. If you guys want to check it out, of him working out with Beasley. There's a whole video of Beasley that receiving with Josh, and he actually raps, the whole song. So you could see Diggs, you can see Beasley, you can see the two young rookies, and all of them getting working, and that's what we need. You know what I mean? Once they get gelled on the same page, and Josh Allen gets a little bit more accurate, man, Bills are gonna be dangerous, man.
Yep.
Bills are gonna be dangerous.
We are. I agree 100%.
They have a lot of talent, like we've said before. Bill, we have 1,000 wide receivers this year. Who do you think's not going to make the spot? Do you think the two rookies are going to take somebody's spot?
Oh, I don't know. That's I'm not sure on that. We got 1,000, so I don't know.
Are you trying to be PC? You don't want to upset no players, man.
There you go. No player. No player
That's
left
a tough.
behind.
That's a tough situation to be put as a super fan, because he's going to be at the games with the players, and somebody's going to put his arm around his shoulder and be like, hey, man, I seen that show. You said I was going to get cut. So he's going to be put in kind of like a predicament. So I don't blame you for not saying what you really feel, because you're kind of going to be put in a predicament. I'd be like, hey, whatever you guys say.
I agree with any one of yours unless you're wrong.
Bill, you're turning a little red over there.
That's right.
All right. Another thing I saw this week was from NFL Analysis Network. They're their top 5 secondaries in the NFL. Their picks for the top 5 was the Buffalo Bills at 5, the Saints at 4, the Chargers at 3,
There's no
the
way.
Patriots at 2, and the Ravens actually taking the number 1 spot. So last year, the Patriots were on number 1, and the Bills were number 2 on secondary or pass defense, actually. So me, I was just looking at it. I was like, all right, I'll take your same 5 you guys did, and I'll change it up a little. I put the Chargers at 5. I mean, they raised them to 3 because they added Chris Harris. But last year, their defense was ranked 14th. So you're telling me
I thought they were 17th, yeah.
To 5?
Yeah.
I mean, well, really? To my 5, but they take them from 14th to 3rd. I don't see that happening.
They picked up one guy.
One guy. And that's it. And I mean, they drafted a few guys, but come on, they're still rookies. They have to prove themselves. They do have a good secondary, but I don't know if they're going to jump from 14 to 3 like they thought.
By that understanding, if we picked up Diggs, so that should move us in the top 1 or 2 in offense then, if you look at it that way. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you said is going to happen, though.
Yeah, hey, I did predict that. We're going to be in the top 3, so we'll see how it plays out. I mean, we got offense. I did say that. That was one of my predictions for this season. I mean, we got a heck of an offense. We got great running backs. We got great receivers. We got depth. We got good O-line. If Josh stays on point and keeps working on his accuracy, man, and we have this running game, it's just going to set up that play action, man, or vice versa. We could pass before we even run also. So we have both options. We're not just one-dimensional anymore. Oh, the Bills are going to run. The Bills are going to run.
Run, pass. Yeah, we can't go run, pass. It never works.
No,
so now we could change it up. And we discussed also about Brian Daboll being here another year. A lot of people called for his head after that Houston game, like, hey, man, what's going on? But I'm in agreement that we could give him one more year, because Josh already knows his system. Now he has more weapons, so that enables Daboll to open the book. There's no more excuses, basically.
Right.
He could open up the book right now. We could pass first, run second, or run and set up the play action pass. So, but getting back to the secondary, I believe it's still the same as it was last year. I think New England still is probably on the top, because they allowed the fewest points last year. I think the Bills are second, and I'm gonna roll with that. And the way we have, like I said, with Josh Norman going back, me and him discussed about being in not Josh Norman in the system. On the right side, taking over, or he said he could be good in a nickel package, which we'll see how it plays out. But I think overall we upgraded our defense. No matter how you look at it, we upgraded. So it's going to be a tight 1 and 2 between the Bills and the Patriots.
I agree with Vinny on that 100%.
Well, here we
no
go.
disagreement.
Let me finish off this list here. We went with the Saints. They had the Saints at 4th. I keep the Saints at 4th also, which would be another big jump. I mean, they had some rookies last year and they played very well, but they were ranked 13th defensive-wise. So you're telling me they're jumping from 13th to 4th. That's kind of tough. That's a big jump in the league. I actually had Ravens at 3rd. They were 3rd last year behind us, and I kept them there. I think our team, like you said, is better. We got Josh Norman. Levi Wallace is playing. This is his 2nd year. He's more depth. Learn more. I think our squad will be there. I kept the Patriots at 1 because they kept the same squad. The only difference is I could see them dropping because Brady's not there. Brady's not going to keep that offense on the field as long. Belichick might try to run the ball more this year. Cam, we have to see if his shoulder's okay, even though he says it is. But, when he starts getting popped back there, that shoulder going to hold up. And if he's not on that field long, that defense is going to have to play more, and they might give up more yards and drop. So I could see the Bills sliding into 1 or staying at 2. Like he said, we got Josh Norman now. That's going to help. Or if he wins the starting right corner position, I don't know. I think Levi keeps it, but that's what I said. And I think he'll slide more to a nickel back or in the dime position. He just gives us more depth. But you guys already said you guys like the 1-2 shot with the Patriots and Bills to keep it the same. So we all agree on that one.
We all agree on that one.
Hey, Phil, you think Josh might win that starting spot?
I think so.
You think he will?
I think so.
I can see that. Bill took a shot. Bill didn't keep it that time.
Took a shot. I didn't go out.
Can't go listen on that one.
The reason why Levi Wallace is a heck of a player. Don't get me wrong, but I believe he also led the team in missed tackles, and then he got injured at the end of the season. He hurt his ankle, so that doesn't really help his cause. And then there's a reason why they brought Josh Norman back also. So you got to kind of look at all those pieces into how it's playing out to where Josh Norman played in the same system in the Carolinas with the same coaches, so they know what he's capable of doing in this system. So they're actually hoping that he gets back into that form that he was in the Carolinas. Now, if he doesn't show that, and if he doesn't do that, I think Levi Wallace will step back in and take that position. But if Josh Norman gets to where he was in the Carolinas, I think it's a lock for him. I talked to you about that before, Will. If he gets back into the form and because he knows the system, if he gets back in the form, I think that's his job to lose.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say Levi Wallace when his missed tackles. It's just some of them were crazy. My son plays him on the game. He plays Madden 2020, and I'm like, I'll be playing like Call of Duty next to him, and I'm like, Levi Wallace missed that tackle, and he's like, shut up, Dad. I'm like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying. I knew it was him.
Hey, now that you bring that up real quick, I don't have Levi Wallace on the Buffalo Bills offense. We got the Madden numbers. I don't know if you got that, if you're going to speak about that, Will. But they come out with the projected lineup and their ratings. So check this out. They got Josh Allen rated at 77. They got Devin Singletary at 82. Zach Moss at 77.
Wow,
77. Yeah, that's why I was going to save this for last, but since he brought up Madden, I'm going to bring it up right now, right quick, and get it out the way. Devin Singletary at 82. They got Zach Moss at 70. Stephon Diggs is the only one with the really good numbers. He's got a 92. Cole Beasley at 83. John Brown at 82. Dawson Knox at 71. Deion Dawkins at 77. Quentin Spain at 77. Mitch Morris at 82. John Feliciano at 74, and Cody Ford at 70. but the one that stands out, of course, is Stephon Diggs at 92. But I mean, what's you guys' opinion on that? I think the overall team was at 83 for the Buffalo Bills. So I was like, what? Come on now.
Yeah, my son was bitching that Josh Allen was like a 77 or something, or 78. He was bitching about that the other night. But he's been tearing it up with Stephon Diggs on the field, so I agree with the Stephon Diggs numbers.
It is pretty bad. That's horrible. I would have thought he had better numbers than that. I mean, they don't give this kid no respect. You know,
he's always like trying to get me to play the football game. I'm like, I'm too old for that. I just want to sit here and snipe and shoot somebody. I ain't got time to run down the field. My fingers don't work that fast.
That's funny.
As a matter of fact, and then I have another thing, because the Bills' overall defense, like I said, is rated at 83, and one that was vocal about it was Jerry Hughes. He said he had to say this: 83 overall defense. Someone send these guys some wings and beers. We need some love up north. My man Tre'Davious White gave up 0 touchdowns last season for us to be rated 83. We got to send these guys wings and beers to get our ratings up. So Jerry Hughes with that comment.
They ended up giving what's his name a number? Didn't they bump him up one number or something like that?
I think it was
one number.
I think they gave him 1 point. I read that too. He gave him 1 point. He said, "You might as well just left me at 89 or whatever it was," because I think they bumped him up from 89 to 90. He's like, "You might as well just left me at 89. I mean, what's the difference?"
Yeah,
one number.
1 point.
He's moving on up.
Yeah. Talking about going back real quick with the Josh Norman thing. This is why I say, Bill, listen, Levi won that spot as a rookie. He's going to come back with a chip on his shoulder. And one thing, listen, he missed the tackles. Because if you're an offense, where are you running to? Are you running over there towards me, Tre'Davious White, or are you going to keep going at poor Levi Wallace all the time? He's going to go at Levi Wallace. Yeah. He's seeing everything. So if Trey got 10 plays going his way, Levi got 20. You know? Yeah. So it's kind of tough. Absolutely. The numbers are going to look worse for the kid. Because everybody's coming at him. That's when you're going to attack.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's 1 year of all that coming at you. You get better. And he knows Josh
he might be better this year.
Oh, yeah. He knows Josh wants his spot. So he's going to come at him. So I think Levi, I told this to Vinny, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder like, you're not taking my spot. But we'll see. That would be a good battle to go and watch.
Vinny had to mute his mic to yell at the dog.
Yeah, I know. Then he probably had sounds like a little chihuahua yelling over there.
I have a chihuahua. That's why I'm out here and not in the house.
Yeah, that's funny.
Actually, I got a chihuahua and a Maltese, and listen, they loud. Let me go take care of
that. Real quick, another news which we did touch on, which has been on the little scroll here. Washington plans as playing as the Washington football team until they find a new name, and the players on the helmet. It's not going to be a logo. They're going to have the number of the players' numbers on the helmet. I mean, Washington football team sounds like a soccer team.
It's an original, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's original right there. I mean, hopefully they come up with the name. One name that was thrown around I liked was the Red Wolves. Hey, you could do the Red Wolves, and then you could sponsor Red Wolves and do a good deed, especially with all that bad publicity you guys got going on there.
Yeah.
I think it would work out.
So what did they decide to say? The Washington team or something was I read?
The Washington football team.
It's almost like soccer does.
Come on. It's like a travel team name. Come on. They even said they were going to change the whole uniform scheme also, from what I read.
Logos, until they find a name, they're going to have the numbers on their helmets. So who knows about that? I got that in there before we forget. Bobby has our scrolls down on the bottom. Bill, anything else you want to tell us, bud? What don't we know about the Stormtrooper?
Oh, I don't know. What do you want to know about the Stormtrooper?
So you've been a fan since 1972, 3 years before I was even born, man.
Oh, great. Make me feel a little old over there.
I feel old.
Then he's not even talking about his age because he ain't even, he's still wet behind the ears.
I'm 50. I was 2 years old when you decided to be a fan. I'm 50 years old. So I'm right there.
Will look like you're 50, but you don't.
Oh,
Hey, that's because I shaved and he did it this week. That's what it is. Usually, yeah, that's what it is.
I actually trimmed. I'm gonna have to start wearing a mask like you, Bill.
Hey, Bill,
I was gonna wear the whole suit in the store and go shopping at Walmart.
There you go.
Hey Bill, anything you want to plug? You got any pages? Your Facebook? Anybody ever want to get a hold of you?
Just my Bill Stormtrooper Facebook page. I have that on there. I have Instagram, Twitter. You can hit me up.
Awesome.
Anywhere on through there.
That's
awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you coming, man. And go ahead.
We still got time. We still have like 4 or 5 minutes. Don't worry.
Okay. We
got 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
He's gonna pop a beer.
So, Bill, what do you think of the names? Would you like the stadium to be named or sponsored?
I think the Bills Mafia Stadium.
That'd be kind of cool, but
it would, but it'll never happen.
All about
they don't have
money.
the money for it.
Yeah.
I think you know what? We talk about the money, but there's so many Bills Mafia fans. If they literally got a GoFundMe account, they probably could surpass that 12.5 million bid and get the name. I personally like the Bills Mafia or Levy Stadium in terms of Mar Levy, something like that. Something that keeps us, back to where we came from. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool. So besides when you were dressing up like a Smurf, who was your favorite Bill?
As a Smurf? Favorite Bill there was a couple of them. It was Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas.
Those guys.
Everybody talks about OJ or Odell Beckham. I'm like, Thurman Thomas would block, go out and hit, and then run down the field and still catch it with one hand.
Yeah. To me, which I've said, I even told Vinny, but I've told plenty of people, to me, Thurman Thomas was the best all-around back until maybe Marshall Faulk came in and took it to the next level.
They were similar. They were similar in playing.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, Thurman doesn't get all the respect I think that he deserves. That guy was all around a beast.
He was everywhere.
Yep.
Bill, I'm gonna throw this at you. I'm gonna throw this at you because you can be as honest as you want. It's not bad. It's not bad. We already one of our first shows that we did. We predicted the season record.
Oh, okay.
What do you think our season record will be this year? Just throw it out there. What you think, and we'll let you know what we did.
11-5, he said.
That's good. That's right there.
And Will's over in the corner getting ready to slide under his desk. But he wasn't.
You saw Will. Will was kind of squirming. He was got a little bit nervous. I actually picked him at 11-5, and then when we got the acquisition of Diggs, I actually bumped up to 12-4. I believe you the same, right?
I started off at 12-4, and I said I could see them going 11-5. Hopefully, no worse than 10-6. I mean, honestly, I think they could sweep the AFC East this year. We played the only team in the AFC East that kind of like worries me a little are the Jets.
The Jets.
No Tom Brady. I'm not really as worried about New England Patriots because Tom Brady, if they're struggling and they're losing, they're going to look over and they're going to see no Tom Brady. It's just Edelman's going to be their main guy, and he's not throwing the ball and catching the ball. So I think that might affect them. But
I think
there was a tweet a couple weeks back Edelman did about Cam Newton, and I think Tom Brady said, "Hey, you missed me yet?" or something to that effect. So I'm like, "Oh wow!" It depends what Cam we get. I mean, it's kind of hit or miss with him, man. If he comes out to play, I think it's too short of a notice for him to learn the system through Belichick. I think it's going to take him a little while. Maybe a season or two to get into form with them. I think, just like Will said, it's going to be more of a running approach by Belichick. And I agree with you also. I think I'm a little nervous about the Jets because the first game we played them last year, we only beat them by a point. So, they always play us tough.
I don't know. I see the Patriots down at the bottom this year.
Wow.
Really?
Miami?
See them underneath Miami?
Yeah, I'm giving them a 4-12.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
I got him like 8-8. I got him like 8-8, man.
I would like that, but I don't think that's going to happen with Belichick.
I would love that. But I still see Belichick pulling a couple games because of his knowledge and because of his coaching staff and because of his philosophy and because of the even the defense, they still have the same defense pretty much.
Oh,
so,
yeah. It's the same squad.
it's going to be hard to
Yeah.
score on them. So if they can stay in the game, and Cam Newton gets a couple passes in there, they're going to get a couple squeakers. So I got them at 8-8 this year.
I'd have to look. Well, Bill, listen.
You'd have to look.
Thank
I don't
you
know what he's
for
looking at. We just told them.
Oh, Bill, listen, thanks for joining us. Bill Stormtrooper, Bill Hatch. Thanks for coming
Thanks
on
for
the
looking
show.
up.
Spending this
Thanks for
time
having
with
me on,
us.
guys. I appreciate it. A lot of fun.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks, man. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. And during the season, after the games, we're still going to have a pregame, if you will, post-game show. So we'll have you on again with your opinion and stuff. And we appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Good, man.
We're gonna do that.
Go Bills, and may the force be with you.
You too,
Go
sir.
Bills.
Before
I'll
we
get your
go,
guys' address so I can send your packages out.
we'll talk to you after this before we sign off. As always, check out I'm going to say our sister show, just in case. K&K show on Wednesdays and Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. One thing I saw, I'm surprised it's not on the scroll there. I know it doesn't have to do with the Bills, but Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. are going to fight in September in an 8-round exhibition fight. I think that's pretty cool.
Roy Jones must have gained like 40 pounds to fight him.
I don't know, but those are two of my favorite fighters.
I saw that today. I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw that and I'm like, all right. Mike's going to be at it again. You better not be biting no ears.
No ears.
Yeah.
As always, thank Bobby in the background. Bobby, you have anything to say or we just signing off? Let's see if Bobby pops up. Here we go.
Bobby.
3, 2, 1. Nope. Bobby's in the back. I guess that's it. Thanks as always. Everybody watching. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, no, he's posted over there. I'm good. He didn't say a word. I saw it over in the chat side. I'm good. First he said he was used, but now he's good.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good night, guys. Stay safe.
Go Buffalo. Stay
Go Bills.
safe, like Bill said. Thanks again.
And force be with you.
Yeah.
That's right.